Yo, welcome to Hot Takes with Cheddar Chaz, but there's no hand holding. We deal with facts, not emotion. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification if you haven't already. Shout out to Miller Lite, DraftKings, and Topo Chico. You guys should support them because they support us. Yo, that mango Topo Chico is off the hook. It's off the hook. It's off the hook. I gotta keep it real. But yo, there's a lot of smoke going on around the team right now. And just remember where you heard it first. Remember where you heard it first, because there's a lot of guys right now, they're jumping on the Scoot Henderson bandwagon. Initially there was only me and one other person speaking about it. And this is early on, even before the end of the season. But now you see a couple other people starting to come around to the idea, even though they said definitively Brandon wasn't getting traded, which is the safe thing to say. They said that definitively. Now it's like, well, maybe, they love Scoot Henderson. So just remember where you heard it first. I rock with y'all. Glad to talk to y'all again. A lot of things been going on. A lot of things have come out about the salary cap. I know people aren't very happy with CJ McCollum, especially considering how the season ended. And now with the salary cap news, it's like a double whammy. Like, damn, CJ, you came here and broke the team up, brother. But I don't think it's all bad. It kind of forces the Pelicans to make some difficult decisions, whereas they may have kind of kicked the can down the road for a little too long. If you look at the Pelicans / Hornets organization predating David Griffin, sometimes they held on to assets a little too long. They didn't move Eric Gordon when he was expiring. They didn't move Tariq Evans when he was expiring. Didn't move Lonzo when he was they had him as a restricted, but they didn't move him when he was expiring for Laurie Markkinen. They didn't move Ryan Anderson. They let all these assets just walk away. And they're trying, as far as I know, not to do that in this situation. Again, the Pelicans love Scoot Henderson. You see a lot of interesting things happening around Brandon. You hear a lot of interesting things happening around Brandon. Shout out to him. Congratulations to him for the FIBA invitation. Going there, going to showcase his talent in front of the world. You know what I'm saying? Not just for us here, just against the world. And shout out to him. Hard work and dedication pays off. And, hustler, I see you, Brandon. I'm familiar with your game, Brandon. I understand. Because check this out. A well-known person who covers the Pelicans, right, put out an article not too long ago. And they alluded to people starting to recruit Brandon away, like other players and teams. Like, yo, we want to play together, man. Let's play, And it's funny because where does most of the recruiting happen in the NBA? Well, not most of the recruiting, but where do a bunch of different players get together most of the time? FIBA and All-Star game. So it's just interesting that, an 8-year player, a player going into his 8th season, and there's all this stuff starting to come out about him working with Paolo, him going to FIBA. And it's like, why is it a story that he's working out with Paolo or even working out hard? He's in his 8th year. We presumed he was working out hard. And it's like, no, there's some emphasis being put on this. And, that looks good for Brandon going into contract extension talks. And it looks good for the Pelicans going into trade negotiations, potentially. So it may be a quid pro quo type thing. I'm not saying Brandon wants to leave. I'm not saying that whatsoever. What I'm saying is he's trying to get his money. You know what I'm saying? People play about a lot of things, but one thing they don't play about is their money. And, to piggyback on that, I'm convinced that a lot of people just haven't seen Scoot Henderson play. I'm convinced they haven't seen Scoot Henderson play. Bro, first of all, I'm going to start off with this. Scoot Henderson is an incredible athlete, right? God takes his physical health very seriously. Seen the dude dunk the ball, slide off the rim, hit the ground face first, bounce right back up like nothing happened. If that was Zion or Brandon Ingram, they'd be out for the season. That's just keeping it real. If it was one of them, they'd be out for the season. But that dude is a monster, right? He has huge hands, pause, but he has huge hands, which is going to be very helpful for him finishing around the rim, passing the ball, great in the pick and roll, really good mid-range game. He has a nice floater, but I'm not a person who really believes in floaters, because I've seen a couple players, especially on the Pelicans, when the floater just doesn't translate. Kyra and Dyson, that floater that they had in college and in the G League just didn't translate. I'm not too concerned about his 3-point percentage just because his form is good. He has a very consistent form, and he's shooting 70 plus from the free throw line. Now you say for a guard, that's not that impressive. Okay, cool. But, and you're right. But I think for a guy who's going to get to the line a lot, I think he's going to bring those numbers up And, a lot of people believe in Fred Vinson, whatever. But, you either believe in him or you don't. So if you trust Fred Vinson to work with Dice and you trust him to work with other guys, then you have to trust him to potentially work with Scoot Henderson in the event that you make a move for Scoot Henderson. You're not trading CJ McCollum to Charlotte or to Portland, or even just for the sake of salary cap room, because it doesn't make any sense. Under the new CBA, CJ McCollum's contract appreciates. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the only professionals in that locker room. The guy was a gladiator all season. I know, the results on the court weren't, the best, and this is a result-driven business. So I'm totally with you there. But yet and still, I think CJ McCollum has earned the right. He has enough of a resume to, have the opportunity to shake back. You're not going to trade Zion despite of what's going on. And I dare what's going on right now to be a reason to trade Zion. I dare that to happen, because it's a lot of bodies buried figuratively with this ownership, and so that would not be a good look. That's a can of worms this ownership does not want to open up. But you're not going to trade him because he's beginning a cost controlled 5-year contract, and when healthy, when even moderately in shape, I'm talking about not even the best version of himself, the dude was a top 10 player, and it's crazy to think about. But gotta stay ass on the court, man. Can't make the club in the tub. The reason Brandon is the most sensible trade candidate is because you look at Charlotte, and they have some desperation, if you believe what some writers are saying about their front office wanting to enter the playoffs this year. And then you have Mitch Kupchak, who drafted Brandon Ingram, and you have a guy like LaMelo Ball already in place over there. You got people like PJ Washington, Miles Bridges, who they may not want to have to pay big money to. I think Kelly Oubre is a free agent as well. So they're lacking a bit in the wing department. So if you get who some people believe is a top 5 wing in Brandon Ingram, that would cure a lot of problems for them, because from what I've read, Charlotte desperately wants to make the playoffs this year. The reason why Portland potentially does it is because Dame applying pressure. I don't think Jaylen Brown's an option for them for multiple reasons. One, because of Jaylen's contract. You see what's happening in Boston right now. They brought in Sam Cassell, then they brought in Charles Lee today. That coaching staff is looking serious over there. That's a serious coaching staff. They did a lot this year, impressively, with a rookie head coach, but that coaching staff, is just getting better. And I think the Jaylen Brown, even as an asset, he's worth more down the line. And only reason I see Jaylen leaving Portland is if he's just fed up with, the fan base and some of the harassment he's probably received from their fan base and disrespect he's probably the interpreted disrespect he's received from the front office. So if he decides to walk, then I see them trading him, like if he applies pressure. But other than that, I don't see them trying to give him away for the 3rd pick. It just wouldn't make sense to me. So I think Brandon is probably the absolute best candidate out there, in the event that they want to trade him. And the smoke is out there, man. He's the absolute best trade target for Portland, or for Charlotte potentially. And then you have situations where Portland is putting out a possible link to DeAndre Ayton, and that's just to put smoke out there and say, hey, we got options. We're not gonna overpay. We're not gonna give you Shaedon Sharpe if we don't have to. It's like, yeah, okay, DeAndre Ayton is not making a difference. Respect to DeAndre Ayton, but let's get serious here. This podcast is sponsored by the Birds Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Boo Crew Media, located at 918 Porter Street by the Superdome. Give them a call at 504-523-5413 if you or someone you know has been involved in an accident, and be sure to mention we sent you. Birds Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Boo Crew Media. Yo, that's been today's show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification. Shout out to Miller Lite, DraftKings, and Topo Chico. You guys should support them because they support us. I'm out.